When I was homeless in LA, when I didn't want to sleep, if I didn't know where I was going to sleep and I wanted a place to sleep, I would go on Tinder and I would, talk to girls, and I would just stay at Tinder girls' houses like all the time.
How many nights in a month?
Endless nights, man. As many as I.
Oh, my darlings, I'm going to look you in the eye when I say this, okay? As someone who has once ousted a hobosexual myself, let me tell you, it is their season and they're out here ready to win. Keep your doors locked. Put a padlock on it, okay? Put a sledgehammer behind it. Put your couch behind your door. Do not invite men to your house. They would not leave. It's their season. As a matter of fact, if you're not in a relationship by October 1st, don't bother getting into one till March 31st. It's also tax return seasons. So they're looking for successful women. The days of women being gold diggers are long gone. These men are the new gold diggers. Do not house a man. Don't invite a man to your house. They will get comfortable so fast. They will open up the fridge. They will drink your last glass of wine. They will start bossing you around your own house. They will start telling you what to fix. Let the hobosexual stay outside.
Hey everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about the infamous hobosexual, okay? Hobosexuals have always existed. They're usually there because they just need somewhere to stay, and the partner that they have is usually completely unaware of it. This is something that has always been a thing, but particularly with this economy going the way that it is, you can definitely expect for there to be a spike in hobosexuals. So this is particularly for the young women out there, college girls, anybody, honestly, that's a single person who has things going for them. They have their own place, a car, and just a comfortable lifestyle. Keep watching this video because it's a whole bunch of homeless people that will really use you for your resources. And when I say homeless, I don't mean the man under the bridge that's sleeping on the street. I mean, some of these people are attractive, top tier, tall, full beard, or some of these really attractive women that have kids that need somewhere for their kids to stay. Keep watching these videos, and here's some of these TikTok rants. Let's get into it.
Okay, we're gonna go with type number 1, which is going to be the hobosexual. Girl, he's homeless. He has no place to stay. He's going to be very attentive. He's going to show you so much time, so much attention. He's going to text, call, blah, 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 always doing those things because he has nowhere to go. And he's going to be so willing to spend the night with you and spend time with you and be around you because you have a deluxe apartment in the sky that smells like pumpkin spice lattes and Bath and Body Works. And it's nice. And he wants to be there instead of wherever couch that he's on now. That's what he is, a hobosexual. Sorry, girl.
He moving in after 1 week. Hobosexual. She's sleeping in your bed for free. That's a hobosexual. He don't got time to go work hard, 'cause loving you is a full-time job. You leave him in the house, he gon' cheat. That's a hobosexual. There he goes again, sitting in the house using up the Wi-Fi. But
I think it's hilarious that she has a man in the background. I'm not sure if that's her boyfriend or her very own hobosexual, but it's funny. For those of you who weren't able to read her tips, she was pretty much saying that one of the main tips or signs rather that you can see in a hobosexual is they will move in with you seamlessly and very fast, meaning you never even know what day they officially moved in because that's how slick they were with it. Like they came over and just somehow they never left. And they just sit there and plant and they grow on you like black mold. Now, if you're not paying attention or you're not careful, you're just thinking, oh, they really like me. We're just stuck together like glue. We're just two peas in a pod. Like we're just soulmates. That's what an unknowing person would be thinking. But the hobosexual is there with intention and they have a plan.
I was the queen of dating apps. I came across a hobosexual just once, actually, not that many times on a dating app, probably because I knew what to look for. And from that experience, I never got fooled again. One time, a guy asked me out on a date, And I don't know why, but I just felt like we should FaceTime before going on the date. And I asked him, like, hey, can we FaceTime? And he was like, oh, I don't have FaceTime. I was like, what do you mean? I was like, okay, do you have like WhatsApp, like some type of video call? And he goes, no, my internet connection is not good. I was like, okay, well, can we get on a phone call? He's like, okay, yeah, I can arrange for like us to talk over the phone. I was like, cool. I noticed that it was a Google number, but I don't know. I just kind of was like, that's weird, whatever. Maybe he just wants to protect his identity. I don't know. He doesn't know me. Then we start talking on the phone, and I was like, okay, like he sounded really nice and everything. And I was like, okay, what kind of food do you like? You know, I was asking the questions because like I wanted him to get a sense of who I was so he can take me out appropriately. So I was like, okay, so where are you thinking of taking me? And he goes, well, I'm actually right now in my car. I was like, oh, okay, no problem. Like you're just like talking in your car, you know? And he goes, no. So I was thinking I can come to your place and maybe we can have like some type of meal. And I was like, huh? What do you mean? And he goes, well, to be honest with you, I'm living in my car. And I was like, you're living in your car? And he was like, yeah. I was like, I don't think like the app is for you right now. Like maybe you should consider like getting off the app and just like working on like getting a job and like a place to stay, so you're not asking like women to come to their home and house you.
So I was homeless from the ages of 19 to 22 on and off. And it's fine now. I'm 34, car, crib, whatever you want. But ladies, get that man at your house because we will take roots. I remember back in the day, this girl really wanted it, and I wasn't even trying to give it to her, but she had like her parents' whole attic kind of like carved out for herself. I was in that motherfucker for like 2 months. Like one of my boys was even telling me to like get my mail sent there so that they legally couldn't kick me out. And her parents didn't even know I was there. Please, mom, get that man out your house.
See what I'm saying? I'm glad that he's able to come out and kind of share. That way you can hear it from a former homosexual, what they do. But it's easy for them to go on dating apps because they don't have to just run into you in the store. And who's usually on dating apps? Young women. Like he said, her parents didn't even know that he was living there. They really prey on young college women. It's their first time getting out of their parents' house, but they have like student housing. So they have no one else to have to answer to except that woman. And once they break through her, it's free range from there. You see, he's trying to get his mail sent there because once someone has their mail sent, you have to legally evict them.
No matter how sad their story is, don't let nobody move in your house, friend.
So we've established that all abusive men are exactly the same. And two things that are often said about them, or narcissists specifically, is that nobody will fall in love quicker than a narcissist that needs a place to live. And that they don't trade in for better, they trade in for easier. My toxic ex could teach a master class on how to abuse women, so much so that we call him the hobosexual. He is 100% by the book. So I was just the divorce girlfriend. I'm the one he dated to provide him with supply and a place to live while he was going through his divorce. He was divorcing his second wife. His second wife expected him to provide for his family financially, to provide for her emotionally, and to be a father to his children. That proved to be too much for him. So when he left, he did everything he could to not provide financially. He's still trying to do everything he can to provide even less financially. And he moved in with me where he didn't have to provide anything financially. But I did expect for him to provide for me emotionally and to be a good father to his children. So on the Saturdays we had them, I took them all to festivals and museums and play places, anywhere a toddler would enjoy time with their father. He didn't care. I did. A quick glance at my page will show you exactly what he did to me emotionally, so we can skip that one for now. So after my expectations proved to be too much for him, he saddled up with one of his backup supplies. Now, he's been playing games with her, sleeping with her on and off in between girlfriends for a decade, so she doesn't expect much emotionally, clearly. So she bought a house and he moved in within minutes because he's a deadbeat and that's what he does. And now when they have the kids, all he has to do is hand them a tablet and make them sit there and watch while he fixes a truck or a chicken coop instead of actually spending time with them. But all that truly matters to him is his image. So as long as somebody's there at the bowling alley or the campground that can tell him what a good daddy is while the woman in the background is actually taking care of his kids, that's all that matters. So remember, easier, not harder. All they're looking for is somebody they can use and suck dry over and over again while not having to give anything back. And they can't do that here. Not anymore.
You see what she said, and that's also why a lot of men go back to their children's mothers, because they know they'll always have somewhere to stay if they have a fool in that woman. And usually, sometimes they do. Sometimes they do. I'm going to mute this video because I don't want to get copyrighted with the music, but this is what the men are doing when you get up and go to work and he's still in your bed. They're using your Olaplex. They're using your coconut oil. They're using your perfume. They are in a hotel with free everything when they are in your place.
That was great, right? Yeah, it was something. Right? So, you probably got to get going soon. I know you got to wake up early to go to work tomorrow. Oh, I don't have a job. Right. Of course you ain't got no job. Where you park? Over on 40th. Oh, okay. Because I think tomorrow is street cleaning. And you know, they like to come by mad early. Damn, that's crazy.
My girl up and moving.
I'm gonna go get me some water. Can you give me some too? Mouth dry as hell. Oh my God. You good? My aunt just texted me. She said she died. Wait, what? Can you just get the fuck out?
Someone wanted me to cover finances, specifically whenever a man moves into your house and it was yours to begin with, but they refuse to help pay the bills, right? And I feel like this is a relevant problem that probably a lot of people experience. The man will say things like, well, that wasn't my house, or I didn't have any say in picking this house out. This isn't the house that I would have picked. That doesn't matter, okay? That's your excuse. The reason why it doesn't matter is because your problem as a man is with the mentality of what's yours is yours, what's hers is hers, and then you have everything that you get together while you've been together. That's the kicker, right? So it doesn't matter whose it was. It doesn't matter how much the bill is. The point is you accept her house because you did not provide any shelter or roof over her head. You moved into that house, you accept everything that comes with her and with that house, and if you turn on one light, if you use one drop of water, if you put your stuff in there, the insurance is all relevant. It is your responsibility to help with the bills. Anything outside of that, you are basically freeloading.
You know, recently I heard one of my mutuals say that a man will live with a woman and expect to pay nothing, but when a woman lives with a man, he wants her to split the bills 50-50. And if that ain't the truth, like some of these men think they can just live with you and just stay with you for absolutely nothing. So the only woman that's going to cook, clean, do your laundry, and take care of you is your mother. So why don't you take that duffel bag and head to her house? Now, truthfully, her first mistake was having you put that duffel bag down in her house without beforehand having a conversation with you about what your share of the utilities and the rent would be. The fact that you thought you could just lay up For free? Like, for what? Like, some of these men, they always talk about what women bring to the table. You're staying in her house, eating her food, running up her utilities. For what? Like, what does she get out of that? Like, if the relationship isn't mutually beneficial, most of us don't want it. Some men associate themselves with women who have the nice things because they want access to those nice things. They want to be in those neighborhoods. They want to be in those communities, and they can't get there by themselves. So all of a sudden, they fall in love with somebody like you. The last thing you want to do is be somebody's gateway to your lifestyle. Just like how Steve tried to tell Kiki, never let somebody fall in love with your lifestyle.
So what you can't give nobody your lifestyle. Yeah. He got to come in here with a lifestyle that you can put it together with.
I know when we hear the term gold digger, we automatically think about a woman doing it, but that's what society wants you to think. There are so many men out here that are gold diggers as well, and vice versa. There are some women who are homosexuals, and sometimes even worse because they usually come with kids. So men, be aware too. But back to the women, if you have a man that comes to live with you, he needs to be paying for everything. Everything. It's so easy for him to walk away. Your name is on that lease. If he just leaves tomorrow, you still have to pay. It's going to affect your credit. Your name is on it. If he's not supposed to live there, you run the risk of getting kicked out. Like him, giving you a food stamp card or just $200 here and there is not doing anything. There are people who are dating and they get more than that and they don't even live in the household. So just be aware not to be taken advantage of because it happens every day. And unfortunately for some women, they end up marrying their homosexuals, right? They marry these men, come in my home, and next thing you know, the man has his name on the house. And when y'all get divorced, he owns it with you. That's half of his. All of that equity. Look how the housing market just shot up. Imagine you marry your homosexual. His name's on your house. Now it's worth twice than what it is. And y'all get divorced. You have to split it half with him. That's sickening. That is sickening.
Is contemplating and is ready to move in with you, y'all need to be really dating and in a relationship with somebody for a long time, not within the first month or two. The second sign is when you're on a dating app, they'll ask you, can you host? And if you say no, that's a big no for them. Thumbs down. They want to find someone with an apartment. They're apartment hunting on dating apps. If they just want to hook up, they need to be clear about it. But the third sign is that they're financially unstable. They don't have a job or they're forever switching jobs. Like they cannot keep a steady job. And don't get me wrong, there's people who have a hard time finding a job, but if you're dating them for like a long time or you're in a relationship with them for a long time and you notice that like they're not going out to look for a job, they're not motivated to find the job, they don't have any money, but they're expecting you to pay everything for them and expecting you to give them stuff, that's a really big red flag and you shouldn't be ignoring that. The fourth sign is they do not want you to know anything about their past. They don't want you to know where they lived before. They have no last known address. They don't tell you where they worked before, who it is that they were dating. They have a habit of never being single because they don't want you to find out anything about them. They don't want you to find out the truth or talk to someone and then they tell you or warn you about them. And you should be very concerned. Not concerned, very concerned. They're also really big cheaters. They don't want you talking to anybody, but they could talk to whoever it is they want because they need a backup. They need someplace to stay in case the relationship between the both of y'all don't work out. The fifth sign is that they always come up with a sob story for everything. Bad luck follows them everywhere. Negative things are always happening to them. Their last ex drained them out financially, left them in debt. They don't want to go back home because they have issues at home. They are always being terminated from all their jobs because they want you to believe them. But then when you actually do, and then you're in the relationship for a while, you start to realize that none of those things really even happened. And the last thing, this is really important. It's hard to get them to leave. Even if you're like dating one and they come over, it's hard to tell them to go back home. They come up with a story that they need to stay with you for a couple days, and when you don't allow it, they start to manipulate you. They gaslight you. They cut you off because you're not giving them an opportunity. You're not giving them a place to stay. And that to me is disturbing because they're invading your personal space. Your boundaries need to be in place when it comes to these people, because if you let them walk all over you, you're just gonna let them keep doing it and keep doing it. The whole purpose of this video is just mainly to spread awareness so that you guys can be safe. Meet in a public place. Don't meet at, some place where it's private, like at your house. Don't tell them where you live. Don't open up to them until you really get to know them, because these people will manipulate and try to take advantage of you, and they're not safe and they're disturbing people.
Let me tell you something. I have came across hobosexuals, okay? One in particular. I was dating this hobosexual, didn't know at the time, just finished college, right? And this is 2020 when the whole world was shut down. So, of course, people are quarantining. People aren't usually getting up and going to work. I had no idea he was a hobosexual. And it followed a lot of the guidelines that this guy is listing off. Like, you don't know about their past. Like, he was from a different state. I had no idea that he had literally had just left his girlfriend's house. I had no idea. This guy is definitely speaking facts. And I personally know of my peers and other women who have came across homosexuals, and years later they're still with them. Like, I know this guy, she was with this homosexual. They've been together like 6 years now. And it got to the point that he was literally bringing women in her apartment and having sex with them while she was at work. And she found out, and they're still together. Like, sometimes they suck you in so deep. And that's why men think they're smarter than women, because they can do this, and we're so emotionally entangled that it blinds us. So this guy is absolutely correct. You have to get out while you can.
Homosexuals are amazing at eating. That's how they get you. Thank you so much for this comment. This is one of my mutuals. Go follow. It is absolutely not a coincidence that most homosexuals are so good at eating kitty cat. How do you think they worm their way into our homes that they then take over and destroy?
The hood boys be so straight up until they find out you got money or a car or a weed or a place to stay. Then out of nowhere, now they hobosexual. You know, they mess with everything. They baby mamas be mad.
See, even some of the gay men are putting them on blast too. This is why you have a lot of DL men, and women have no idea that their man is gay, because a lot of these men, well, I'm not going to say a lot. Some of these homosexuals are gay for pay as well. They'll do anything not to be on the street. How do you think a homeless person looks so well kept? Because they'll do anything to avoid homelessness, except get a job and do it the right way. They'll do anything for it to be a quick resolution. Anything. So don't let these homeless men trick you into falling in love with them, because they are really sneaky. They're like sirens. You know how they have like those mermaids, the women that are in the ocean screaming for help. Oh, help me, help me. And as soon as you reach out for their hand, they drag you in the water and eat you up. Yeah, that's the hobosexuals mascot, if I had to ever give them one.
Not on Black History Month. Are you gaslighting this woman in her comment section about how she should feel bad for not giving this man the time of day because he's homeless? That's not what she wants, nor any woman needs. The man you date should be gainfully employed. Okay, he should be able to provide for himself and for the woman he is courting. That is his responsibility. He's not meeting that need if he's homeless. He has other problems. And his problem to find shelter is not her problem. That's not what she wants. It's not what she's looking for. And no one deserves to take care of someone with that huge baggage on them. So do not make anyone feel bad for not wanting to deal with that. It's like a tactic men use to lure women in so they can find shelter. Don't be a victim.
Coming from someone who was a college student for 4 years and had roommates all 4 of those years, different ones, I have seen my fair share of women fall victim to men that are homosexuals. For some reason, homosexuals are really, really attracted to the good girls. They love the good girls. And you know, women, we have this thing. We want attention. We want to be loved. We feel like we're going to get the job. We're going to have the man. We're going to have the house. We're going to have the kids. So we are really soft-minded at that stage. If you have a younger sister, a niece, you know, a daughter, or, you know, your own friend, check on them and make sure. You have to verbally tell them, don't let no man come stay with you, because they will. I had a roommate that we had to kick out because she had this man stand in her room, which was in our unit. She had the door unlocked for him, like the apartment door. She would leave it unlocked for him in the middle of the night. He would come in, and he even started to sell drugs outside of our apartment. It got to the point that one of my roommates physically fought her and then got her kicked out. She then ended up pregnant and dropped out of college. Like, this is just one girl. This is just one. I have about 5 more stories. Please do not let these men distract you, take advantage of you, and suck what they can out of you. Because they're just going to disappear and find the next person like a leech. And your whole life is going to be over. So after she was kicked out, I felt really bad. But mind you, she broke the rules of having someone live there whose name was not on the lease. We did not feel safe as they had the door unlocked to let him in. And he was also selling drugs out of the apartment. After all of that, and she had to go home pretty much to her family and have them pick up the pieces, I come across his profile on Tinder a few weeks later, which means she's now trying to figure out what her new life is. And he's out on the prowl looking for the next woman to do this with all over again. Please do not let that be you.
Look, the moment that you let that man move in with you, you are now the man. You can just consider yourself the man of the house, baby, because you're already in your masculine energy. Men should not move in with women, and that's just that on that. It don't matter if he's paying the house note or paying all the bills. You're never going to be able to change that dynamic, because the moment that y'all get into it, y'all break up or it's over, you're going to tell that man, get out of my house. You're going to be telling him to get out of your house. And so you ain't got to explain yourself to me, because I get a lot of oh, it was best for us. I was the homeowner first, and it just made sense for us. Okay, Brandon. Okay, just gonna start lining yourself up. Okay, line your beard up, because you're still the man. If it's that imminent for y'all to live together, let that man put a roof over your head. And that just is what it is. So I hope that this is temporary for y'all, and that y'all can start looking for something together, because it doesn't matter it doesn't matter what your reasoning is behind it. That man is in your house.
Do not let a man live with you. When I tell you, you will end up crying.
Evicting your lover who is a tenant. Even if he pays no money and he has a key and he gets his mail there, he's a tenant. To get rid of a tenant, you have to evict them with a notice of eviction. And they get to file a countersuit, and it goes to trial.
Do never let a man move into your house, and do not let him get mail to your house.
Listen, y'all, she is absolutely right. 'Tis the season, because it's getting cold outside and people want to be laid up. And what better way for a man to lay up than with a woman who really wants him bad and wants to cater to him and have him around? Ladies, we got to stop dating guys who don't have their own houses. Like, that is something that at this age I refuse to do. If you don't got your own spot, no. And you cannot ever move in with me. If we decide that we want to take our relationship to the next level and we want to move in together, we're going to move in together into another space. I'm not moving in with you, and you not moving in with me. It's nice to have love during this time of year, but don't play yourself. Just to have somebody up in your house to lay up with you, no. A man who's going to come move in with you is a man who's taking advantage of you. Don't play yourself. Don't do it. It's not worth it.
Kicking my door, bruh. Stop kicking the door. What's wrong with you? Stop kicking the door. What the fuck is wrong with you?
And in the end, when you want them out, when you finally wake up and realize what you've done, it's too late. You have to figure out how to evict a grown man. And this is when it could get potentially dangerous, as you can see from this last clip. I'm glad she called the police, but at that point, he knows where you live. You're going to have to get a restraining order. You know what I'm saying? Like the other lady in California said, you have to go through the courts to legally evict them. It doesn't matter that, oh, I don't want to be with you anymore, I'm breaking up with you. It's not that easy. And then, too, a lot of men don't take rejection well. If you tell them that and it's just you and him right there, what do you think that man would have done to her if he opened that door, if that door were broken down? That would have been a problem. The only reason I feel like my past roommates were able to escape the situation is that they were able to blame it on something bigger than them. Like, oh, my apartment said you can't do this. My roommate said that da 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 da. My parents say But when you're a grown woman and you're just on your own and they have full range to your life, they know your schedule, they know where you live, they know where you work, they know your friends, they know who aren't your friends. It's hard for you to escape that. So be careful when you are entertaining a homosexual or when you see them. I wish you roaches before I wish you a homosexual, because you could always call an exterminator. Be safe out here, ladies. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. If you watched the whole video, thank you for staying. I appreciate that. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.